said that when a child is born, it is a time for crying, for all of the hell that the enemy of God has put before him or her, and they will have to endure it. But if a child during that period of time has a renewing of the mind and passes on out of this world, that we should all rejoice, for such a one has overcome the wells of Satan. The subject matter for this particular moment here is the joy and the beauty of living and dying. You know, the most peaceful time a human can have is when they are asleep, unless engaged in a nightmare. You see, during this time, they don't have a care in the world. And the other most peaceful and comfortable time is when one is sedated with an anesthesia that puts them out cold. Usually, when one goes to sleep, they anticipate waking up. And likewise, when they are under anesthesia. Other times, when an individual may be so blessed, is when one passes out faints. A question arises. All these peaceful and wonderful times are when a person is asleep, sedated, or passed out. Situations for which they usually recover. Why is it that people abhor death? A peaceful and comfortable situation for which no one recovers. Perhaps the answer is that no one is sure about life after death. Does it or doesn't it exist? Another thing is that perhaps there are so many wonderful things that can happen when one is awake that's worth risking even at the reality of the possible discomforting circumstances. You know what that means? There's so many wonderful things that can happen in this life that is worth risking. Well, the most major question is this. Why can't all Americans agree to share in all the wonderful things that can happen in life? Rest assured, each of us can only live in one house at a time, one meal at a time, drive one car at a time, one education, one health care, and one career at a time. Also, one lover at a time. And certainly we will die, all of us, once. Now the last question is this. Why would anyone try to do more of the aforementioned things at the same time, at the expense of pain and suffering to others? The second part of this last question is this. If someone is willing to cause you pain and suffering by usurping your right to such life amenities, why would you allow them? When everlasting sleep is much more peaceful and comfortable. But having lived such a life, if you awake after death, it won't be a life of a nightmare. Because that nightmarish life after death is reserved for those that abuse us for personal gain in this life. Believe it or not, there's a movement going on for a new world order. In it, the general public is damned. That's you. So I call on all Americans to separate from that possibility and create a new American order where every citizen lives as a millionaire, which will serve as an incentive to overthrow the new world order the failed system calls for. Now, what I have shared here with you milk it for as much coverage as possible. Go figure. Or take having the knowledge of ending most crimes and violence throughout the nation. Peace and prosperity, education and health care for all, and a career of your choosing for all. Consider that. Now consider a child at the age of 1 that can recall the name of presidents, their birthday, and year of service. Or consider a child that can pronounce words backwards and just hearing them. Now, both of these children's abilities, which are really insignificant,